Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, what you're looking at is a Marx 994. Now, this is the one that I painted, I think it was last week, with that super matte black finish. Anyway, I got a new switch in the mail today, so I thought I would do a quick video on installing the forward, neutral, reverse manual E-unit in a locomotive. Now, the full-size switch is easy to work with because it's rather large, as you can see. Let me zoom in so you can actually see what I've done here. So I mounted a bracket in the locomotive and then installed the switch through a hole, and you see the switch has a black cover over it, and I sprayed the bracket itself black. So from a foot away you really cannot tell that there is a switch mounted in the back of this locomotive, as you can see. So the nice thing about the switch, of course, is it has three positions. It has forward, neutral, and reverse. It's completely out of the way, it's virtually hidden, but the nice thing about it, of course, is the fact that it works. So the locomotive is in neutral. We're supplying power only to the light. There's no power going to the coil at all. So this is the first time a Marx 994 has been sitting on the rail in neutral with its light on. So let's put this back on the consist. I've got it on the inside rail, pulling a Lionel consist. So it's in neutral. We'll flip it to forward, take it around once. And as you see, that runs just absolutely perfectly. All right, we'll flip it to neutral, and light comes on, and then of course flip it to reverse, and we run backwards. So the nice thing about this, of course, is it's an instant replacement for a defective E-unit that you don't have to tear the motor apart to install. It's just a matter of attaching it to the existing wires on the motor. There's only 4 wires. It's really, really simple. It's really straightforward. And the nice thing about it, of course, is the fact that it works. It gives you a neutral, forward, and reverse, completely manual, and it's really, really inexpensive to do it. And like I said, from a foot away, you cannot tell if there's a switch mounted in that locomotive. So I painted it black, painted the bracket black, and it actually looks quite acceptable. You'd never know that this has been modified. Anyway, so we now have forward, neutral, and reverse. So forward, put it back into neutral, and as you see, it works absolutely perfectly. Forward and reverse. So it's really easy to do this. And using a full-size switch, it's really simple because you're working with full-size screws instead of trying to work with the micro switch. The micro switches are tiny, very, very difficult to work with. At least for older eyes. I had to wear a magnifier soldering to them. Those posts are extremely small. But this is a full-size toggle switch, and it's called an on, off, on switch. So it gives you a center neutral. And as you see, that center neutral works really, really well. It's instant, it's really inexpensive, it's really easy to do this. It only takes a few minutes. It actually took longer to make the bracket than it did to do anything else. Now, the bracket is just a piece of sheet metal that I just bent and drilled a hole in it. One for a screw to anchor it to the locomotive, and one hole to mount the switch. The switch has a black cover, and then I sprayed the bracket itself black. So it virtually disappears. You do not see it in the back of this locomotive. And yet it gives you full control over forward, neutral, and reverse without having to replace the defective E-unit. So it works. I just wanted to do a quick video on this. It's really simple, it's really inexpensive, it's a lot of fun, and it'll resurrect a lot of locomotives. Because if you do the bypass, it runs, but it only runs forward only. This way, you have at least restored forward, reverse, and you have the added advantage of it now having a neutral, so you can just run the lights. without running the motor. So I just want to do a quick video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.